What's up guys, Your Doomsday here. Today we're back again. In this video we're going to be playing some Wukong in the jungle. So for this match, actually I was trying out Grasp of the Undying for my Keystone rune instead of Conqueror, because I feel like Conqueror is not as good with Wukong for the build that I'm going. If you're going for a more attack damage build and like full on damage, then Conqueror probably be better, but because I'm going more of a supportive Wukong, I guess tankier Wukong build, I do think Grasp of the Undying will be better. So I was just trying that out and asking for the leash here. So for this match, I'm actually jungling up against a Rengar. So looking at this matchup, really I don't win this early on. My strength is pretty much just team fighting, and I shouldn't be trying to fight this Rengar in small skirmishes, and I really should just try and avoid him and wait for late game. Because in late game team fights, we definitely can win this. And over here, Diana got pretty low early on. And over there, they're kind of making a mistake. They need to use their first ability to last hit and poke damage at the same time instead of going for one or the other. Because if they just use it to poke, then they're going to miss all their minions. And over here now, I just head over here. I think they had a ward in there, or they have a ward around here, I'm pretty sure. Because they backed off instantly. I was just trying to give this Diana some breathing room so they don't go too far behind. But over here now, I just decide I don't feel like walking over to my wolves, so I decided to just go for 3 camp clear. And when clearing your camps, actually, you don't want to be using your second ability unless you have the blue buff, because it does take up a lot of mana. And if you do a full clear, you're going to run out of mana on the blue buff actually. So you don't want to be using your second one unless you know you're going to have the blue buff, because that's the only way you'll have the mana for it. And if Diana actually they're able to turn it around, so that was very nice. And now I'm looking towards this top side, because this Camille's pushing in into Nasus. And over here, I'm pinging that their jungler's on the other side scuttle, because he's not over here. So over here now, I wait for that Camille to go in. I actually make a small mistake there. What I should have done when going for that gank is just walked up to the Camille and auto-attacked him instead of using my third ability to engage. And the reason for that is because I know Camille has their hook shot. So then after they use the hook shot, then I could use my third ability to gap close. Because if you didn't see, right after the hook shot away, it took me a little bit to get up to him and walk up to him and force him to burn flash then. Or another thing I could have done is they clearly didn't have a ward in there because they kept on playing aggro. So what I could have done is waited until the Camille used the hook shot to fight with the Nasus and then gone for that. That would have been that probably would have guaranteed the kill, honestly, but I learned from this. So we're not going to make that mistake next time. But over there now, I actually was able to ping out bot side, and I think the Rengar did gank there. He did gank there, I'm pretty sure. And you need to do that if you can, because it's obvious that the Rengar went for the same clear as me, so he's going to end up on the opposite side scuttle. And over here, I was getting some lag spikes, so I think I just switched to data. Yep. And just pinging that out can really help out your teammates. And if you are a side laner, that's something to pay attention of the enemy jungle rotation and what scuttle they're going to be at, because that usually dictates what lane they're going to gank or be looking to gank. Because of course, if they're taking that bot side scuttle, then they're going to be looking to gank either that mid lane or bot lane if there is an opportunity. And our bot lane was definitely overextended, and they're pushing in pretty hard. So that was a good gank, or that was a good ping. But over here now, we're going to see what just happens in this top lane over here. These laners just reached level 5, plus the Rengar's level 6. So with the Camille ult plus a Rengar ult, there's nothing a Nasus can really do to get away. And something that could have maybe done is recognize that they're probably going to go for that Nasus maybe, and ghosted him and gone for a counter rotate. That's a possibility. I don't know if we would have won that just because Nasus is still kind of weak. And over here now, me and this Diana are trying to collapse onto him. And I'm pretty sure we can win this just because me and Diana both have our ults up, I'm pretty sure. But this Nasus just wants to keep on farming, and we are not able to get onto that. That was good for Diana for not forcing that. If they would have just dashed in there and ulted, they probably would have just flashed underneath turret and we wouldn't have gotten anything out of it. And we would have just wasted ults. So that was a good call by the Diana to just back off there. So now I'm getting the scuttle. This first dragon's up. I need to be on my way there. And a really cool thing with Wukong actually is, so you can actually get your first tier 3 item before the first dragon. So if you do a good job farming, if you get one kill is enough. So you can see I have enough for it. I actually realized this, but I don't exactly, I don't really have an opportunity to recall here in shop, so that was a little unfortunate. But if you get a kill early on, you can easily buy this before the first dragon. And that's a really big advantage that you have going for Black Cleaver first, is it's a relatively cheap item compared to something like Trinity Force, which you're not going to get before the first dragon. So over there now, we were able to secure the dragon. They went down. I'm like, we should just back up here. They get Camille, so their Baron laner was able to rotate, so that was a bit unfortunate. But with Wukong, one of the key things I'm going to say in this matchup especially is don't force it on the first dragon. And I was saying this in the draft chat before too. If we need to, just give it up and don't do anything reckless over here. I'm looking at this, I'm like, I'm not going to risk this. I'd rather just play safe. And I think our Lux was, I'm not sure what they were doing, but I think they were AFK for a little bit there, okay, they're back now actually, so. We sadly lost our mid turret and bot turret for that. Nasus got the top turret, so that's fine, but as I was saying, you don't need to force it on that first dragon, just because look at these team comps, like, they're most likely going to beat us in a mid-game small skirmish like that, but as long as we don't feed and as long as we can get to a late game and get a decent amount of gold, we can definitely win this. Just because our team fighting is so much better, if Nasus gets to the late game, I can easily knock everybody up. The Rengar is going to fall off. So over here now, I'm actually like, we should watch out here. Again, this is another small skirmish. Over here now, I'm just looking for a pick, honestly. We're able to get the pick, and then I got the second charge of my ult onto here, but now we got to back up here. We're super low. And again, this is what I'm talking about. These small skirmishes, they aren't necessarily the best. So really, I started off really well, just going for that one pick. That's really all we needed to do. If we wanted to, we could have just given up the Herald and just gotten that one pick instead of going all in. So over there, I couldn't really go in with Diana. I'd already used my ult. And without your ult, you're almost like useless on Wukong. You can, well, I mean, you're not useless, but you can't do much. And the Rengar was trying to pull a fast one here. So yeah, just scared him off a bit. But with Wukong, what a lot of people do is they'll like use their ultimate, get a kill or something, and then try and fight again without their ultimate. But you're just so weak without your ultimate, you won't be able to do much against something like a Rengar. So over here, I'm like, just be careful. We can, as long as we farm up right and we keep on getting gold, we'll be fine in the late game. And it's a problem that a lot of teammates that on Wukong's teams have. If you're going to be playing Wukong, your teammates might do this a lot. So you need to remind them, don't fight if you don't have your ult. Tell them in chat, ping the cooldown, be like, I'm not ready yet, wait for my ult. Because I do that a lot in my Wukong matches, and it definitely helps out a lot, because without your ult, you're not the strongest. So now over here, we get an amazing Diana ult, and I'm able to follow up really easily. And this is what I'm talking about, just playing around your ult, really. If you could do that, you get a pick or two every now and then, and you keep on just getting picks, and eventually you get enough gold to get to the late game. So now we're able to get this Herald here. And that's good. And actually, I want to talk about the reason why I picked Rengar, or why I picked Wukong here, is because I wanted to actually play for team fights. I like pairing Wukong with other high CC champs. So something like Alistar, Malphite, because you could just chain CC so easily. And over here now, I'm just making sure that they're all good. And now we're able to clean this up. But notice how without my ult here, I can't do anywhere nearly as much. Our Lux gets an amazing root there, which really helped our team. But now see, I just gotta back up. I can't do too much yet. This dragon's spawning, so I will have my ult up for this fight. And I do have Herald, so I'm just gonna end up dropping Herald in mid as a distraction while we go for that dragon. So I just dropped the Herald. It's going to get that first turret, I'm pretty sure. There's two of them topside, so I'm not too worried right now. Keep an eye. They actually get the Fizz ult. But I just straight up ult him. I see him going for the dive, and it's like, I could easily just zone them all out. So So actually, Rengar snuck up on our backline. That was very well played by him. I didn't even really notice that. But here's a key thing that I just did. Using your second ability right, it's a very important thing, and again, Diana gets a good ult there. Plus, now we have Nasus, so Nasus was just pretty much farming this entire match. He didn't really fight or anything, so that's really good that now he's able to participate in these fights, and he's able to just turn this around now. Because he does really well into a lot of their comp. Since he's pretty tanky, so the Fizz won't be able to do too much to him. He can match up against the Rengar with the sustain. And over here, I wasn't sure if he was alright. I wasn't sure if he was going to get Camille ulted or something, so I went over there just to make sure that he was going to be good. But actually, that was really well played by the Rengar. He snuck up behind us and onto the Lux, and we didn't even really notice it. So I actually can get my Guardian Angel now. And the reason why I got for Guardian Angel early this match is because there's already a lot of team fighting and stuff. Like, as you can see, there's almost like no lane phase left. It's all done. We're all just going to be team fighting from now on out. So Guardian Angel will definitely be very helpful for that. But now this match is looking pretty good, just because we've got Nasus a good gold lead into the late game, so this is definitely where he can shine, and this match actually made Nasus a top 10 Nasus player on the leaderboard, so good for him. But if y'all are enjoying this kind of content, make sure to show some support by commenting down below and leaving a like on the video, and subscribing if y'all want to see more. What I was talking about earlier, using your second ability right. A lot of people just spam their second ability just whenever they feel like it, and that's a huge mistake because your second ability is so good at just escaping ganks and big burst. So, as you saw back there, I used it right when the Rengar, I knew he was about to jump onto me, and it completely just ate up all the Rengar burst. He didn't even get his burst on me just because he used it all on the clone. So over here now, I'm pinging watch out for the Fizz, because we have no vision control, which is a big problem over here. The Diana gets ulted by the Fizz right as I say that, but they're able to get a huge ultimate, and I'm trying to get onto them. They're so far away, and I get a huge follow-up too. And over here, my Guardian Angel comes in clutch. I'm able to survive the Rengar. But that Jinx ult nails me, so I have to still dip back out. But that's a big problem we had there. We had no vision control. You could just see on the map. We really don't have good vision. And that does provide a problem because, one, we didn't have Nasus with us, so that makes the front line pretty much just me. Because we don't... The Diana, I'm not really counting the Diana as a front line. Because they're more of just going in and out and playing around their abilities. So that's why I was like, we should be really cautious there. But we won that pretty much 4v5 just because Diana got a good ult and I was able to follow up. So they got a good cam. See, but again, notice without your ults, like, there's only so much I could do. Especially with this build, since I'm going more of a tanky build. So I'm not going to even really have sustained damage. Well, that's something important to just realize. In my opinion, those are... The biggest things I'd say when playing Wukong is... One, make sure you play when your ult's up. Or mostly, like, go for the big fights when your ult's up. If you need to, give up a dragon or something. It's not the end of the world. But just, if you fall behind on Wukong and you just get your entire team killed by going for bad fights early on without your ultimate, then your entire team's going to fall behind. And without a team, it's pretty hard to carry on Wukong, especially with this build, just because you don't have the most damage if you aren't going to go for a full damage build. So over here now, I'm mostly just peeling for my teammates at this point and setting up ultimates. So as you can see, when the Rengar dives right onto him, I just ult him off, and now we're barely alive. I'm pinging retreat, we should probably back off. They want to keep on going though, I think these two. But yeah, I'd say making sure you pick the right fights with your ultimate and make sure you're making sure your team doesn't feed by going for bad fights. And also, using your second ability right is huge, in my opinion, to dodge big burst damage. Because some cool things you could do, like for example, you can actually dodge the Camille ult in this match. Or, I don't think I actually do it. I did it in the previous match actually. I went up against the Camille in the match before, but over here now I'm actually trying to set up some wards. Or I was trying to clear the wards, because I didn't want Fizz to have vision of us again and get another ult. So it's important to do that if you can. They have no vision in this area now, which is good. So they don't really know what's up here, and they're going to have to overextend just to take a peek at this dragon if they want. Over there, the Nasus was just like, oh, I'm going right in. So now I'm like, me and the Misfortune are like, what do we do? Are we going in? But they just keep on committing, so I end up just trying to follow up if I can. They're a little bit far away, so I'm trying to catch up. We're able to get the Jinx. I thought I had Guardian Angel here, so I thought that's why I kept on like walking towards him, and then I realized I didn't even have Guardian Angel, so I was like, oh crap, I don't have that. But that's another thing you can do, is wait until your Guardian Angel's up for big fights. And the best way to do that is to communicate with your team in the chat, see if they'll wait like 30 seconds before going for a big fight. I mean, of course, sometimes they don't listen and it doesn't work out, but occasionally it does. And over here, I actually kind of try and use the Lux as bait. I wait for the Rengar to engage, and then I'm like, okay, I can go in right after he engages. I did not know the Lulu was there. That turned out to be very unfortunate. But again, notice how this entire match, I'm like almost never fighting the Rengar 1v1, just because I don't really win that. So that's probably the biggest thing, because that's where Rengar shines, in those small skirmishes where you can get on top of squishy targets. And actually, that's why I actually go Protobelt. So if you don't remember, when that Diana got the 5-man ult around the mid lane, I was struggling to get up to him, and that's really why I like Protobelt. It works really well with your ultimate. So in certain matches like this, it's pretty important to have, in my opinion. But in other matches, if I don't need the gap closing, I'll just go like Locket or Redemption or whatever I need, whatever my team really needs. So over here now, I realize this Nasus is keep on pushing, so I'm hanging around the Nasus to make sure he doesn't get caught out, because they might try and get this Nasus. So over here now, I'm literally just hanging in the back, and I'm ghosting him in case they try and send like 4 people here. So really, I'm not doing anything, because now Nasus is the main damage dealer. I'm really just here to protect him. I'm here to knock people up if I need to. I'm here to just apply some pressure. And now they really can't even go onto Nasus because I'm standing here. That's really all you have to do. So now Nasus is fed, and I'm able to get a solid ult. There is a stasis, sadly, but we're able to apply good pressure. But see what I'm talking about? Using your second ability, right? It can save you from a lot of burst damage. I don't know if I finished talking about this earlier, but oh, that Jinx rocket. That was sad. You can if you time it right, like a lot of times what a Camille will do is they'll use their third ability hookshot to get right on top of you, and right after they do that, if they think you're caught out, they're gonna ult you right away. So if you see them hookshot onto you and you know that they're about to engage, you can actually throw out your clone and they're gonna ult the clone instead. And then they're gonna be very sad. So now actually we just force this. We know that if they step up here, we could just go right onto them, just because we're so far ahead at this point. Our Nasus got a bunch of kills. We got good picks earlier. And really we didn't hard int, so that was the key thing. We did have some small ints early on going for some questionable fights, but we were able to make up for it. So now we're just pushing in this, and actually I think I start pinging the top side. I'm like, we should go to this top side turret just because you will probably get more from it. Right now, it's not looking like we're going to be able to push too well with just this mid lane, so this is a mistake a lot of people make, is they just keep on staying in that one lane, but pushing multiple inhib turrets is just so important. And that's exactly what me and the Nasus are doing here. Over here now, I see they go for an engage. The Fizz is overextended, and I have my ult up. At this point, I'm just like, alright, I could just easily ult onto him, and that's why I like Protobelt. It gives you good gap closing for your ultimate. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. And that's going to be it. Hope y'all enjoyed. And I'll see y'all in the next video.